Welcome into Hall of Trivia on HQ. If you're like me, you've been in sports heaven the last few weeks. Seems like we have every sport on every night happening all at once. It's everywhere. But no one is as happy as those fans in Tampa Bay and Los Angeles. Tampa saw the Lightning lift the Stanley Cup, and LA had LeBron and the Lakers bring home an NBA title. Now both cities are trying to win again, this time in the World Series. And yes, everyone else is jealous. I know, Los Angeles, you got that first NBA title after 10 years. It was so long. Speaking of Tampa Bay is a legit thing. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers just blew through the Packers' Swiss cheese defense, and the Bucs might actually be a Super Bowl contender. And that, of course, comes despite the fact that they have a 43-year-old quarterback in Tom Brady. Meanwhile, the Patriots are just an average team, but they're not as bad as the Jets, who look like my friends and me going out and playing two-hand touch football in the NFL. It's not good, folks. I'm sorry. I might dunk on the Jets every time. That might happen. Anyway, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? Put it in the comments. A little about me. I was born and raised a New York sports fan, and it's been a little bit of a tough year, you know? The Yankees gave me some hope, the Knicks not so much. The Rangers, they might have a future. As for the New York football Giants, I was all ready to come in here, talk about Trevor Lawrence being the guy, but I've changed my mind. Big Blue is now one game out of the NFC East lead. The Giants might be coming to a playoffs near you, and we're gonna have a lot more about that game tonight, folks. I wanna hear who's your favorite team. Let me know out there. Put those answers in the chat. Welcome everyone to the Hall of Trivia on HQ, our new football and fantasy sports themed trivia show sponsored by the Hall of Fantasy League and the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. You're in the right place. You're here. That means you came to the right place. We appreciate you being here, and we've got some big things planned for you. My name is Jeff Eisenband, and I'll be your host. We've got a lot of great things in store this season. I'm talking new trivia formats, new contests, new prizes, and as you might already be aware, a new host under center. It's now time for the 4 downs of the week. We have a ton going on in the NFL right now. Let's give you 4 of the biggest storylines. All right, on first down, Derrick Henry is in a league of his own right now. The running back is averaging 118 yards per carry, and no other back is over 100 yards per game. That is nuts. Henry is also leading the league in absolutely stiff-arming dudes into another dimension. On second down, the AFC has 2 undefeated teams remaining, Henry's Titans and Big Ben's Steelers. They both meet this week in Nashville in a COVID-19 makeup game. Only one will leave Music City on a winning note. On third down, it's officially Tua time in Miami as Tua Tagovailoa is now leading the Dolphins offense. Tua is also now the only lefty starter in the NFL. That might be a surprise. That's right, we're a long way from the Southpaw glory days of Steve Young, Michael Vick, and Mark Brunell. Oh, and Tim Tebow. Kind of. On fourth down, the 2-4 Dallas Cowboys are somehow leading the NFC East by a half game, unless the NFL changes the rules midseason. I'm not ruling it out, honestly. One team from that division will be in the playoffs. I can guarantee it. With the Cowboys playing the Washington football team on Sunday and the Eagles and Giants playing tonight, this beautifully ugly division will get 2 more wins this week. Congrats to the NFC East. Speaking of the Eagles and Giants, oh, this is great. This is exciting. The time is now for the Hall of Fantasy League Start-Sit Fantasy Pick'em Pool. All right, since it's the first week, let me break it down a little for you guys. All right, listen to this. This is big. We'll give you 2 or more players. All you have to do is pick the player you think will score more fantasy points that week. If they do, you can chalk that up as a win. You know, Jameis, eat that W, however they do that. Get the most wins by the end of the contest, and you and whoever is left will share a $10,000 grand prize. We'll be using a half PPR scoring format, which means each player will get a half point per reception. But if that's a little confusing, don't worry about it right now. That half PPR rule doesn't apply to this first week because we have 2 quarterbacks playing. It's Carson Wentz versus Daniel Jones. A couple of young guns from Philly and New York. So in just a moment, pick which of those 2 players, Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones, you think will have more fantasy points tonight. All right, think that through. Get it in your mind, which of those 2. Ready, down, set, go! All right, there you go. Those 2 guys. Eagles, Giants, QB. You pick one of them. And you stick to that tonight and in the future. You want to get that win right there. You get that win, you can chalk it up and head that much closer to that $10,000 prize. And we got a lot of Philly in the chat, down I-95. All right, the Carson Wentz fans are out here. I see you. Come on, believe in Danny Dimes. Come on. That 37%, I believe in you. Now let's give you the game plan for tonight. All right, I'm going to ask you 10 questions about the NFL in the past week in fantasy football. Were you paying attention? I'm talking watching game film with Bill Belichick level attention. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? No. This is your first time out here. Hall of Trivia on HQ. We're getting it done. If you get all questions right, you and whoever is left will split the prize pot of $2,500. The money just keeps coming in from everywhere here. It's not too bad for a Thursday night trivia game, is it? I guess it's too late for me to jump in. I got something to do right now. All right. Well, anyway, let's get ready. All right. Game time is approaching. Get in your last-minute stretching, strap on your helmet, and prepare to take the trivia field. Let's set the game clock. Let's get into ready position. There's money and more on the line. No pressure though. You got this. Round 1 starts now. After week 6, what is the only division with a single team over 500? Without a single team over 500? NFC East, NFC South, AFC West. All right. I hope some of you might have been listening before. The Cowboys lost their starting QB for the year, and one of the division's teams doesn't even have a name. If 2020 was a division, it would be the NFC East. And if Hall of Trivia HQ has its first question, 12,248 of you knew to keep on going. Honestly, if there was European soccer, they might relegate this whole group. But over 12,000 of you are not getting relegated. You're moving up to question 2. What former #1 overall draft pick was benched in the 3rd quarter this week? Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow. A lot of hype out there, a lot of hype in this question. He woke up feeling dangerous to the Browns, and after a couple picks, he was replaced by Case Keenum. To be fair, Baker Mayfield's ribs weren't 100%, and he still got 4 wins, and the Cleveland Browns, man, they might be heading to the playoffs this year. Playoffs, Cleveland Browns. That would be something special. All right, well, in that question, let's see what we got. 11,134 of you are still moving on. You're not #1 overall draft picks in the NFL, I don't think, all of you, but you're moving on. Since Baker entered the league, by the way, only Jameis Winston and Phillip Rivers have had more multi-interception games. But listen, free Jameis. That's all I'm going to say out here, right? Free Jameis. Saints. Q3. What combination has accounted for the greatest number of touchdowns in league history? Rivers and Gates, Manning and Harrison, Young and Rice. Oh, we got generations on generations here for this question for you folks. This is you got might need some football history for this. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, they've now connected for 79 touchdowns. After they got their first in a Bucs uniform, the Gronk spike returned after a 679-day hiatus. That's nuts. But they are still far from the all-time connection of Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison.
Brady lofts it.
Wow, look at these guys. What Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison have done has been pretty incredible. There's Gronk, by the way. He's doing his thing, but him and Brady, not the answer. And if you're just joining us here, by the way, you're like, what is going on? 9,386 of you, you know what's going on here. The rest of you, you might be wondering, what are we doing here? It's Hall of Trivia on HQ. We're asking football and fantasy questions. We're going on Trivia Gridiron here, all right? But before we go to Q4, it's time now for the Hall of Fantasy's Fresh Fit of the Week. Let's take a look at what we got teed up there. Who's it going to be? Oh, there's King Derrick Henry rocking a Tiger shirt and showing some legs before the game. He was just teasing the Texans before galloping all over them with those legs. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. I think we have a new Tiger King in this country. Next thing you know, Derrick Henry's going to be replacing Carol Baskin on Dancing with the Stars. Shout out to the Tiger King, Derrick Henry. All right, let's move on. We need to go to Q4. Brett Favre. What was the only team to score 20 points in each half this week? Atlanta Falcons, Las Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans. That's right, there's an NFL team in Sin City now. Well, the Titans put up 40 points in back-to-back weeks, and the Raiders put up a 40 spot last week. But only one squad put up 20 in both halves this week for their first win, and that, folks, was the Atlanta Falcons, finally getting a victory. It's been so long, and 6,570 of you were able to get the victory there, paying attention to what the Falcons did. Atlanta fired their coach and GM, actually, and then they won the game by 17. So just do that every week, and the Falcons, and you'll be fine. That's my suggestion. Maybe that's why I'm not a coach. Q5, I can tell you a little about this. Who was the first left-handed QB inducted into the Hall of Fame? Boomer Esiason, Ken Stabler, or Steve Young? All right, we got some southpaw action in here. Okay, Boomer, it's not Boomer. It's 49ers legend Steve Young who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2005. Ken Stabler is I wonder if he's one of those just under 7,000 of you that got that right, by the way. Ken Stabler, he punched his ticket to Canton in 2016. Now, there's actually only one lefty starter in the NFL right now, and he's playing after his bye week. It's Tua time, folks, in Miami. We're going to see Tua real soon. Right now, we're going to see, before we get to Q6, we got something special for you. We're halfway through the game. Players, let's take a quick break. Do what you need to do to get hydrated right now and rested, and let's take a look at the halftime tweet and greet. I asked you on Twitter, what is the most iconic moment in Eagles-Giants history? And this is a rivalry close to my heart. Like I said, right down I-95, Philly to New York. This is what we got from Jimmy Two Lips, who says, unfortunately, it's that Deshaun Jackson walk-off punt return in 2010. I love your responses, by the way. I saw them, keep them coming, but I gotta say, all right, so for those who don't know, Deshaun Jackson fumbles the punt from Matt Dodge. The Giants are up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. It's a tie game. Last second, Deshaun Jackson, Matt Dodge was supposed to punt it out of bounds. Deshaun Jackson runs it all the way back. Tom Coughlin's out there yelling at people. I'm 17 and miserable on my couch. Might still be bitter to this day. Giants fans, you could have given me Ron Dixon or something out there, Jason Sehorn. Instead, we're headed on to Q6. What statistical category is currently led by a player who is out for the year? Interceptions, passing yards, rushing TDs. Out for the year. The more you look at Dak Prescott's stat line, the more you realize just how great of a year he was having. And the more sad you get knowing that he's out injured now. Dak still leads the league in passing yards. Incredible. And 6,572 of you lead that question and are headed on to the next question. But listen, Cowboys fans, you'll be all right, right? You got the red rifle, 3-time Pro Bowler Andy Dalton, although he kind of looks more like a super soaker these days. Q7. Sorry, Cowboy fans. I might have a few of those. What team has the record for the most consecutive road losses to a single opponent? Cleveland Browns, Tampa Bay Bucks, Detroit Lions. All right, there's some teams that have had some bad moments in history. Think home field advantage ain't real, folks. This was the 17th straight time Pittsburgh topped Cleveland at home. But one team is still worse, with 2 opponents The Detroit Lions. Oh, man. And hopefully you didn't lose as much as the Lions did there, some of you. Oh, it was close. And actually, not even the team with the most answers. The Detroit Lions was the right answer with 3,269. A lot of you said the Browns. I get it. But listen to this. Detroit has lost 23 straight at Green Bay and 18 straight at Washington. Matthew Stafford just wants to go back to Motown. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. We get it. Some of you are going on to Q8. The consensus #1 pick in fantasy this year was injured and replaced by a player with what nickname? Milk Dud, Jujubee, or Mike and Ike? All right, we can call this a Halloween question, right? There's a lot of candy involved. When fantasy stud Christian McCaffrey went down, Milk Dud sweetened things up. Mike Davis's nickname might not have gone public if it wasn't for quarterback Teddy Bridgewater blowing up his spot, saying his head is bald like a milk dud. Wow, Teddy. I mean, he's not wrong, all right, Mike Davis. And 1,911 of you knew that one. Some of you got tripped up by that Mike and Ike, Mike Davis. I get it. Now Mike Davis, by the way, has to find a comeback for Teddy Two Gloves, right? I mean, Teddy Roosevelt would be the nice nickname. Teddy Two INTs, if you wanted to talk about last week. Q9. Hang with us. 2 more. Almost there. Besides Derrick Henry, who is the only active player with multiple rushing TDs of 90-plus yards? Leonard Fournette, Lamar Miller, Adrian Peterson. We're talking whole field. I don't know if I could run that far without getting out of breath. But these guys can. Leonard Fournette has 2 touchdowns of over 80 yards, but newly signed Bear Lamar Miller is the only back in history with 2 97-yard touchdown runs. So this guy can fly, I'll tell you that. And he's going to try to do it at Soldier Field nowadays. And 1,031 of you were flying there to get that right to head on to the last question. Derrick Henry, he has the unbeatable record of 99 yards, throwing all those people out of the way. And he added a 94-yard TD this week against the Texans. All right, it's time for the final question of the game. This is it. It all comes down to this last round, where you either will be crowned a champion or not. Or if you're like Danny Green, even if you miss, you can come back next game. All right? By the way, shout out to Sport Radar for giving us all these questions tonight. Q10, folks. Dig deep, deep breath. Get ready. Let's go. What NFL team currently features the greatest number of Heisman winners on their roster? Arizona Cardinals, Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans. Got some on each there, but who has the most? Trying to get this last prize. It's a lot of money out here. Logically, you'd think the team with the most Heisman winners on it would be good, right? Well, this isn't a trick question. No trick or treat for you. They are good. The Ravens have 3 Heisman winners: Lamar Jackson, Robert Griffin III, and Mark Ingram. Big Trust they got to do the Heisman pose. That's really the Big Trust pose out here, all right? Wow, congrats to all of you who were able to get that right. 1,147 of you were able to go 10 yards, get the first down. Might have even gotten into the end zone. Stuffed in. I don't have to go to the review, all right? No pylon cam. You got this. 1,147. All right. Let's take a look at what we got here. We got $2.18 being won around to our 1,147 players. I see you all out there. I got Jerry Sy has a nice dog picture. All right, that's going to make people feel good. We got Marnita Nita looking right at us with her $2.18. Giancarlo went high here, going all the way, 10 questions right. Pocketed some money in his bank account. Shout out to all the winners. I mean, we're talking, who won the Super Bowl last year? We're talking Patrick Mahomes type of people out here, Kansas City Chiefs, doing their thing. All right, congrats again to all of our new Hall of Trivia winners, just like Odell Beckham performing the latest, newest dance craze, or Gronk spiking a keg on spring break. You did the damn thing. Thanks so much for playing with us. I hope to see you all again soon. You got to keep building on those winnings, right? For all those winners out there. We play Hall of Trivia every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right before the Thursday Night Football game. So pay close attention to all that goes on in the football and the fantasy week. I'm going to be paying close attention too, even though I'm going to be standing here. I'm going to keep focusing on it. For more news and information on the Hall of Trivia on HQ, follow us on social at HQ Sports. Hit that, give it a follow. As always, a special thanks to our sponsors, the Hall of Fantasy League and the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. I've been your host, Jeff Eisenband. Until next time, have the best fantasy version of your week. Do me a favor, don't get vultured. Don't let anyone take your touchdowns in life. See you soon.